What is going on, everyone? It is Garrett and welcome to the top 5 designs of the week, episode 3. Now I'm going to apologize, it's coming out of course a couple days late. I've been having this thing like pre-recorded and pre-done. I just have not had the time to record my voiceover and or put it together, but right now I'm doing it and I hope you guys understand. One thing I do want to say, if you guys can turn the notifications on my channel, I know that a lot of people aren't getting the subscriber notification just because I don't upload enough on my channel. So if you can click that little bell and send me a thing on Twitter, like a little notification like at me or something like that you did it, I will follow you guys on Twitter 100%. Another thing, if you guys want to join my Discord, there's going to be a link at the top of the description and stuff like that. It's just a designer and a very friendly overall chat that anyone can join and stuff like that. But to waste any more time, let's hop into the top 5 itself. So at the 5th place, we have Lars, who did a social media design for Obey Alliance. And first things first, man, the style that you've been doing, or you have been doing in these kind of social media designs, it's a very up and coming style. This kind of geometric looking thing. It's very up and coming, as I said. And I just think that a lot of things can be changed in yours. No offense, this is a great start, of course. One thing I would do recommend is the background itself, maybe changing that just a little bit. I don't think that blue, dark gradient is a good idea. And I think that the gradients you use on the actual pieces, like the silver and blue, I think that there's just too much kind of different gradients happening. And then there's these inner strokes, and then there's drop shadows. I just feel like it took away from the whole entire piece. And then if you just let's just say we merged all those layers of those silvers and those blues and we put it on soft light on the background, it could have looked a lot different and maybe even a lot better. If not, it was just a suggestion and stuff like that. Also, with the sponsor links and stuff like that, making sure that they are the same size height wise, because it always helps. I can tell right now that the Scuff Gaming and then the Meta and the Emberwebs and EGL, they're all like different sizes, but they're spaced correctly, but they're all different sizes. And of course, Obey Alliance and the bottom.com, you should just make that all capitals, just because the uppercase and the lowercase just kind of messes with your eyes a little bit. But nonetheless, it's a really, really good design. I hope you take into consideration what I said, maybe changing out those drop shadows a little bit more and messing around with different kind of overlay styles and stuff like that could really, really help your whole entire piece. Overall, Lars, you did a really good job. You get a 6 out of 10 on your piece, and you guys can check him out on Twitter at LaysJDesigns. Thank you for submitting. So the 4th place, we have Codie F, who did an advertisement design for I think it's the Off-White Nike collab. I gave you a 6 out of 10 on this one, and overall, man, it's a really, really good idea. I like the whole entire kind of street style to this. Now, I say this all the time, if you guys are going to be doing street style clothing or anything like that, advertisements for it, you have to keep that vibe to it, which you did in this whole entire piece. There's just a few things I do want to talk about. The first being, on the shoes itself, there's this red kind of bars and stuff like that, or whatever the little accessories hanging off it. Now that red really accents the whole entire thing, so I think that maybe changing out the colors a little bit more, like maybe doing like a black and white theme, keeping the red on the shoes there, and maybe adding the crosses and stuff like that red, could really change the whole entire thing. I just think that the red you use and the duotone of I think it's a green, I just feel like that it made the piece a little bit more of a sloppy and stuff like that. The next thing I want to talk about is the kind of little stocks, the little minimalistic stocks you added all around the piece, the brush strokes and the X's. I think that if you took that brush stroke style and did it throughout the X's, and then of course a little square on the right hand side, it could have changed the whole entire piece. But the text in the middle is really, really good job. The logo and the stroke in the background, of course, is really good since it doesn't bounce off everything too much, and it really blends into the text and the eye and everything like that. But nonetheless, it's a really, really good job. I would just take into consideration messing around with the color designs and stuff like that. But overall, man, it was a really, really good design, a really good job. You get a 6 out of 10 as your total score, and you guys can check him out on Twitter at CodieDesigns. Thank you for submitting. So the 3rd place, we have Gustavo, who did a social media design for L7 Cami. I gave you 7 out of 10 on this one, and I was very, very impressed with this design, just for the sake that it has that kind of 80s vibe to it. Now I know there's a lot of things going around, a lot of color codes, a lot of color palettes that look exactly like this. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that the color palette's original, however I do think that the design itself is pretty clean. A few things that I would suggest messing around with is that kind of like overlay colors you have on that circle in the middle, maybe making that an eclipse or something like that could have changed everything. I just think that that kind of really shaky design you did doesn't look well at all. Also, the text having that shadow on it Just, I don't think it works with everything. However, I do like the whole entire piece. I like how you added the L7 logo in its own circle, the flowers everywhere, the little squiggle marks and stuff like that, and the text on the right hand side and bottom left. I did think that it all complemented each other well. The color code and the color palette was just, of course, really nice, and maybe adding a little bit of more noise on the flowers or in the background could have really helped, but nonetheless, man, it's a really good job, and thank you for submitting. You got a 7 out of 10 as your total score, and you guys can check him out on Twitter at Inertia or Nerdiv, however you want to say that. But thank you for submitting. So hopping into the second place, we have David van der Zwaan. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that. I'm sorry for butchering your name. And you got a 9 out of 10 on your score. You did an advertisement and a 3D render. Now, if you did this 3D render by yourself, really good job. All ups to you. I think that this is actually really amazing as the, I think it's the impact controller for Scuff. A few things I do want to talk about, of course, are the designs itself and then things surrounding it. Now, I do want to talk about the design and how you implemented the controller with everything else around it. Now, I think that it's really nice how you did this with the kind of blocks that are glowing and stuff like that. I just think that if you would have messed with a little bit more with shadowing and stuff like that, the paddles and stuff like that need more shadow. I think the shadow on the box below it, like the ground level, I just think that you could have done an actual controller shadow, how it would be casted on the background a little bit more, and then making a better lighting source. But overall, everything was really nice. The one thing I also would suggest is taking away maybe the Scuff on the controller, or keeping it there, but of course adding a Scuff logo or like a Scuff text in the bottom or the top, just to make sure that everyone's aware that you can purchase this controller now and stuff like that. That is very key into the whole entire piece. But overall, man, I thought this is a really good job, and you guys can check him out on his Twitter, which is going to be in the description below, and he got a 9 out of 10 as your total score and a second place. So going into the first place, we have an UI and advertisement design for a YouTube Black Edition by Maksumic. You got a 9 out of 10 on this one, and big ups to you guys for doing these kind of advertisements, stuff like that. I know I can't show the whole entire piece right now on screen, but if you guys go out on just Behance and check it, it's really nice. It's very professional, it's very well done, and I just think that it was very creative on how you did it. Some things I do want to talk about, however, is maybe adding a little bit more text. Like in the YouTube videos and YouTube section on your mobile app, they did show a little bit of description. So if you can see in the right hand side of the let's say like the Monster Energy movie, it says 1 month ago, if you could add just like a starting line of, you know, maybe a description or something like that, or maybe like the view comments or reply and stuff like that, I just think that it would have changed the whole entire outcome. However, I do love the whole entire black and white theme, and it would be really sick if YouTube itself could implement this. Of course, we had those plugins you can use on Chrome, but it's something else to have its own series of it. So really good job. You guys can check him out on his Twitter at Maksumic Design. I'm sorry if I'm butchering any of you guys' names. It's just a lot of hard names to pronounce this week. And you got a 9 out of 10 in a first place. So that's going to cut it in for the top 5 this week. If you guys do want to be a part of this, there's going to be a submission form in the description below. It's a Google's form link. It's very easy to go through. All you have to do is click, enter in your name, your alias, your portfolio, whatever you want to support yourself as, you know, your little plug link and stuff like that. And that's basically it. So of course, guys, if you can turn the notifications on my channel, there's a little bell. I don't really upload all too often, so you're not going to get annoyed by notifications. However, it's really helpful for my channel to support me a little bit more, especially when I upload, since my views, my channel seems to be dying, and it's really sucks. But my Discord link's in the description below, and that's basically all I have for you guys today. Make sure to keep submitting your work and just keep having fun. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys like this series, and leave a like on the video. And I'll see you guys in my later on videos. Peace out.